You terribly.
We missed you all terribly.
We did. You missed us too.
Good to be back, KZOOMing together, and welcome.
And made everybody smile. And so, just recently we got.
Wait a minute. Oh, somebody. Oh. There we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. So, so, we've been following, being inspired by the Song of Songs, and in these last few weeks, the lover in the Song of Songs actually goes through some kind of traumatic times of looking for the beloved and not finding the beloved, and being sort of attacked by the watchmen of the walls, and she goes to the daughters of Jerusalem and said, if you find my beloved, you must tell him that I'm in the fever of love, and they ask her a question, meaning like, tell us about your beloved, tell us what and in the description of the beloved that she calls up, there is a great healing that happens inside her. And they ask her, how is your lover unique, O most beautiful of women? How is your lover unique that we must swear to you? And so she begins to enter into that place of that as she calls in the description of the beloved appears to her. And she begins with these words. She says, my beloved is earthy, radiant and earthy. such a filled with contradiction. He towers above 10,000. He's beyond description. His head is burnished gold, the wave of his hair shiny black as the raven, his eyes like doves by the flowing rivers of milk and plenty. His cheeks are a bed of spices, treasures of sweet perfume, his lips red lilies, wet with myrrh. So in her description of the beloved, she's calling in that presence. And the very first words that she uses to describe him are these words of radiant and earthy, which is like a contradiction, really. My beloved is filled with contradiction. He's filled with paradox. And I wanted to use this time to explore what it means to embrace paradox, because there's so many contradictions in our lives, and what they guide us towards is really an expansion of our being, and to be able to hold those contradictions, that paradox is what opens us up beyond thought, and beyond beyond the level of mind. And the word paradox comes originally from the Greek para, meaning beyond, and dokin, meaning thought. So beyond thought. And then it went kind of like morphed into the Latin that says paradoxum, which kind of meant, contrary to any expectation, a surprise. And then during the 1500s, it went into the English language to mean a kind of a contradiction that sends us beyond thoughts into this place. But I think what happens is that our mind is blown and we drop into the heart. And that's really the pathway to the beloved, is to go beyond the logical and the to take in all the contradictions. So I just came back from kind of a roots trip in Latvia and Lithuania, where I was sort of taking in this vast range of beauty and horror of the past, of the terrible things that have happened, and the beauty that came of it. And I went there to honor my ancestors there, and to bear witness to some of the darkness, some of the trauma, so that I could go beyond thought, that I could drop into the vastness of my heart. So I want to ask you, as we chant these words of radiant and earthy, and when you say dagul meravava, it means like, his contradictions sent me beyond the place of trying to figure him out, into the place of receiving the vastness of our reality, and opening to the miracle of this moment of encounter. So these words, radiant and earthy, and you might just hold in your heart all of the contradictions of life. I want to dedicate this KZOOM to all my friends in Boulder who really have been traumatized by what happened there, and to really surround them with wide perspective, with beauty, and let the kind of a healing come of that heart space. So let's take that journey of embracing paradox. Dodi, tzach, and when I'm doing this, I'm saying tzach as being like this radiant, surprising, wow, and the Adom, that deep kind of grounded place in me. And I want to be able to embrace both. So you might want to imagine, like just feel in your own being as you say those words that you are embracing those contradictions of life. Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, and then going beyond. Dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, Dodi tzach v'adom, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, dagul merivava, Dodi tzach
Dodi, tzach,
So I invite you to breathe into the heart, just expanding the heart to be able to hold all of the joy and the grief at once. And go beyond making sense out of the senseless, and instead just open to receive this, all of these contradictions of life. So out of the contradictions, there is another kind of unification that is possible, that takes all of those kind of the duality and brings them together into a much larger unity. And these words that are called unifying the heart really is a kind of a step that we take towards the place of unity, towards the place of knowing unity. We first enter into our own hearts and find those places of contradiction, or of sometimes experience it as a kind of an inner war, the oppositions inside me that aren't at peace, that are kind of fighting for dominance in me. When I was studying philosophy, and I did a master's degree in the philosophy of creativity, and what I discovered is that the locus of creativity was this place I called the between. And if I was able to live in the between, which means not to accept the kind of the
either or.
Yeah, the tyranny of duality, really, to be able to hold myself with all of my contradictions, then living in that place of the between, it felt like that was my freedom, my place of creativity, the place where new, sort of like ideas would emerge from. And I think of like Einstein sort of like holding this idea of like, is light particle, or is it energy, right? Wave or particle, yeah. And not, and sort of saying, no, both.
It's both.
It's both.
Depending on,
but but it's both, meaning like he opened up a whole quantum field out of that question, really. And it feels like we're faced with these questions every day, these choices of, kind of taking sides, and if we hold ourselves in the between, something new emerges. But in order to do that, we go into the heart and find this place of bringing together those contradictions inside us, marrying them to each other. So I want to do a couple practices of marrying those places of contradiction inside us. So the rabbis who created our liturgy took this phrase from the Psalms and they tweaked it a little bit. The phrase, and now I can't remember which psalm it was from, the phrase said, "V'achei levavenu liyirah et shemecha," which means unify our hearts to be in awe of the name, the essence. They took that line and they said, when I look into my heart, I find that awe, but I also find the love. And they kind of dance within me, those two different aspects of my relationship to the mystery. They dance inside me. And if only I could bring them together to find the unity of ahava and yira, then the essence would be revealed to me. And so these words of the liturgy that were tweaked by the rabbis, with the psalm that was tweaked to add ahava to the liyirah, was out of the realization that we need both, and that both live inside us, and we need to somehow unify them if we are to encounter the one. And in our liturgy, this comes in the paragraph right before the Shema, which is like kind of the place in the liturgy of encountering, experiencing the oneness. So this is the kind of the prerequisite to that unity consciousness, is looking into the heart and finding those places of division in us and bringing them together. So, vayachid levavenu, unify our hearts. And, in my astrological chart, I have all of these oppositions in my chart, which it's like, for the first half of my life, I struggled with those oppositions so much. I felt like I was living in a war zone, really. But it was only when I could begin to say that those oppositions meet inside me, and something greater is born out of those oppositions. So this is kind of feels like my life, really, and maybe your life too. That we hold these contradictions within us, and we find our peace, our wholeness, through not negating any one for the other, really, holding them both. Let's do that. And feel your love. And feel that awe. And marry them to each other. Feel that love. And the awe. And let them touch.
Vayahi levaveinu le'ahava ule'yira et shemecha Vayahi
to the breath and breathe into the heart, bringing the heart into wholeness. So that each time you breathe into the heart, you feel all of the different parts just come together into wholeheartedness, wholehearted presence in the presence of the mystery. So this is our spiritual work of becoming whole. And if we've ever pushed any part of ourselves away, we invite that part back and find our way to wholeness. And I felt like when I went to Lithuania, the place where my grandparents came from, on my father's side. I felt like I was on a journey to wholeness, because all of my life I had turned away. I was talking earlier to Johnny about this, of turning away from the litvak part of me, turning away from my ancestors, turning away from some of the tragedies that they bore, turning away, and I felt like I needed to reclaim my own wholeness, by going there and being on the land there, and even in the places that where the very difficult history happened for my ancestors there. I felt it was a journey of healing, and journeys of healing are sometimes very painful. It's something that we try to avoid. But I have some faith that by taking that journey, didn't do all the work, but I've stepped onto a path towards my own wholeness, and my own healing. And I think of the lover of the Song of Songs, just describing the beloved and stepping back in, after her trauma, stepping back into wholeness by calling forth the beauties and even the contradictions of the beloved. Right. Yeah.
Well, she's just coming out of being beaten and bruised.
Right.
And now she's
back
to wholeness.
Opening to her wholeness.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to go through the painful parts in order to do that.
Yeah.
So our journey to wholeness also involves, these balancing these different parts of ourselves, that one part maybe takes precedence over the other. And I wanted to do this practice that I call balancing will and surrender. And the practice came out of finding that this pasuk, this sacred phrase, pointed to these different parts of myself. And I wanted to both strengthen both parts of myself and also bring them together to see what was born of the marriage of these two parts. So the two parts are called Oz, and Oz represents my strength, my will, my can-do spirit, my making things happen place, And so when I say Oz, I want to feel it, I want to strengthen it, I want to honor that place in me, I want to activate that Oz, and then the sacred phrase then sends us to another part that says V'zimarat Yah, and V'zimarat Yah is the place in me of surrender, of realizing that God is singing through me. I am opening up to that flow of the divine. It's actually not me doing it all, and I that ability to soften, to yield, to become supple, to open, and to allow the flow of the divine to pour through me and to trust it, that flow, is another part of me, And so I need both. And I need to have that strength, and I also need to learn how to surrender too. And Vayahi lishuah, when those both come together inside me, that will be my salvation. That will be my freedom. That will take me on the journey towards wholeness, really. So these words, have been this melody has been sung all over the world, even in Madagascar.
Yeah, that's right.
But not everybody knows that it's a practice, really. That when I'm singing it, I'm not just singing a song. I am calling forth those qualities in me. So the three things to think about is like, oh, how do I honor that place of strength in me? And also, yeah. And also, how do I honor that ability that I have to surrender, to open, to flow, to yield? And the third thing is, what does it mean to bring them together? To find both, and both balance and connect those different parts of myself, to come into wholeness through that self-discovery. So as we chant the words, the abracadabra of it is we say, abracadabra means I create as I say.
Yeah.
So those, so it's an invocation of those parts of myself that will lead me to my wholeness. And what when I chant this, I say, "Oh, Z," and feel that strength. And then I say, "Vesimaratia," and I let go, I surrender. And then when I say, "Vayahi lishuah," what I've felt inside myself is like I'm an energy body, and I have these 3 different reservoirs of energy. And in each of those reservoirs, I want to balance those 2 qualities. So this is a reservoir of energy in the third eye here, and in my heart, and in my belly. So I want to do the balancing. First I call them forth, and then I balance in each of those energy reservoirs. And out of that comes my wholeness, my freedom. Oh,
lishuah. Ozi Vesimaratia Vayahi 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 lishuah. Ozi Zimrat Yah Vayahi lishuah Ozim the 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 Zimrat Yah Amaych lishuah Ozim the Zimrat Yah Amaych lishuah Ozim the Zimrat Yah Amaych lishuah Ozim the Zimrat Yah Vayahi lishuah Ozim the Zimrat Yah Vayahi
So, you might want to try this of holding your right hand up and feeling in your right hand that quality of strength and will and making things happen. Just find that quality in your right hand. Really honor it. And then find in your left hand this other quality of surrender, of flow, of opening, of yielding. And see if you can feel both hands at once, both of those parts of yourself. And on a journey towards wholeness, we bring them together and bring your hands towards each other. And when you allow them to touch, feel what is born of the marriage of will and surrender. So our wholeness is our freedom. It's how we're going to walk that pathway through the wilderness to our place of the promised land. And when we come through the promised land, last week we came to the mountain of revelation. And the revelation is really how the sense of unity consciousness enters into our lives, enters into our core. And there's a and then that revelation, takes on so many different forms and words, but really, they say that the whole, Torah was given, and some say, no, it wasn't the whole Torah, it was just the Ten Commandments. And then some say, oh, no, it wasn't the Ten Commandments, it was just the first word of the Ten Commandments. No, and then they say, no, it was the first letter. So the first letter is silent. And in that silence, we received that sense of unity consciousness, that of our own oneness with everything and everyone. So that was the revelation, and then we want to live in the light and the implications of that revelation. And so there is a text that we read on Shavuot, which is about Ruth. Ruth was a refugee, an immigrant, a stranger, and she was there was in the book of Ruth, there's so much kindness, there's so much inclusivity, so much kind of embrace of the stranger that is described there, and there's a one point in the text which I think of as like the culmination of our revelation, really, where Ruth says to Naomi, and I think Naomi says to Ruth also, Amaych, ammi, your people are my people, vaylohayich, elohai, and your God is my God. Mm-hmm. And it is a moment of embrace, and a moment then that ripples out into wider and wider circles of embrace until we reach that place of unity consciousness. So, I feel so important in this time when the stranger is being pushed aside, when immigrants are not being honored, when refugees are oppressed and not welcomed, that this becomes our prayer, is to be able to see in the other our own selves, the larger self that we are. And so it feels like a very important moment to reverberate inside us. And when I chant this chant, I want to, sort of find those concentric circles of relationship and begin by saying, oh yeah, you're my people. Your God is my God. We come from the same source. And I first, I do that in the smaller circles, and as my heart opens, the circle gets wider and wider, and includes all of the stranger, and the stranger first, and and the animals and the clouds and the trees, that we are all connected to source and to that oneness consciousness. So I want to just sort of come back into that oneness consciousness of Shavuot and really plant this inside us as a way of being in the world that takes that contradiction of self and other and sort of like brings it together to say, oh, we are all this larger self of God, of the divine, that and to be able to see that in each other. So you might want to first look around the KZOOM room and say, oh, look,
ammi.
you're my people. Yeah. And when I can really feel like I belong, that we belong to each other, then, I can expand that circle and, and keep on expanding it. We all belong to each other, and we all belong to the larger unity. Oh, look, Theo and Abe are here, the newlyweds. Wow. This is where I was last week at their wedding. So we want to open to that oneness consciousness with these words, and see if you can. Who do you want to sing this to? Who do you want to open your heart to? Amaych, ammi, vaylohayich, elohai. Amaych, ammi, vaylohayich, elohai. Amaych, ammi, vaylohayich, elohai. Amaych, ammi, vaylohayich, elohai. Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
vaylohayich, elohai.
Amaych, ammi.
Amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai. Amaych, ammi.
amaych, ammi,
Elohayich, Elohai.
sense of welcome and of love and of inclusivity and of embrace of the other and embrace of all contradiction bring us into unity consciousness. And from there, the only thing that comes forth from us will be love. Mm-hmm. That's where it comes from, that place of ultimate connection that we, the truth, really, of who we are with each other. So, and I think it's kind of contagious, like when you're there in it, and you're living it, that it becomes the way that we respond to everything else. To come from that place of unity. So, how wonderful to be together and to celebrate. I'm going to stop the recording.